I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delighted to welcome back one of our favorite guests, Dr. Barbara Ten Brink. She is an astonishingly versatile author with a portfolio of 24 books spanning 6 diverse genres, including epic poems, children's literature, and young adult novels. Her latest young adult biography, On the Silk Road with Marco Polo, dives deep into Polo's adventures, blending his firsthand accounts with exhaustive research to unveil the majestic and often brutal world of the Mongol Empire. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at MainSpring Books for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. Doctor, so good to see you. So good to have you back on our show.
Thank you, Logan. I'm so happy to be here. I tell everybody you are my favorite interviewer. Everybody, audience, darling. Logan actually does his homework. He actually reads the books. I'm so proud. It's a delight to be here.
Well, I'm proud to have you on the show, and right back at you. You're one of my favorite guests for sure, because you got so much energy, so much enthusiasm, and you are so prolific. This book is important because Marco Polo's achievements don't really sink into a lot of school kids like me. But this book really brings it to life. Tell us a little bit about why you wrote this book and what you hope kids get out of it.
Well, exactly what you said, Logan. I was a kid at one time in elementary school, and it so happened that my teachers in elementary school loved the great explorers. So Vasco da Gama, Balboa, I don't know, Columbus, Marco Polo, and Magellan. Oh my God. I mean, if I just wrote about what my teachers taught me in 4th grade, we'd have 10 more biographies.
Right.
But the one who stuck with me was Marco Polo. And once I finished Into the Canyon with Mary Coulter, I knew that Marco Polo was going to be next. And this one, I love what you said in the intro. Exhaustive research on thousands of pages, both on Google and Wikipedia, et cetera, but also to buy books of people who have followed Marco Polo all this time. Marco Polo was a young man. So when people buy my book, I say, when you read it, put yourself in the shoes of a 17-year-old kid.
Amazing.
He was a young man. His father came, his uncle came and got him, said, hey, we are going back. And they took Marco Polo with them. Now, here's the beautiful thing, and this is a recurring theme of all of my biographies. Logan, he wrote it down.
Wow.
He wrote down his experiences. This is a recurring theme. Children, audience, listeners, darling, keep a journal, write things down. An idea comes to you, write it down. That idea will evaporate and you'll be like, oh, I was thinking about some. No, write it down. He wrote it down. And we have his book to this day. So this is a first-person account. He told us this happened. So amazing, so amazing. And he was 15. It took 2 years to get on the road. You have to raise money, you have to sell things, you have to buy boats, you have to buy horse, you know how and Logan, when I was a kid, it was pack the station wagon.
Right, exactly.
So they had to get ready. It took 2 years to get ready. So by the time he was on the road, he was 17. By the time he got to the Mongolian Empire and met the Kublai Khan, can you imagine? Now, this is a young man who knew royalty. He had met with the Pope. His family was well connected. These were merchants in the center of the world of trade. And he knew royalty. He knew the Pope. When he met the Kublai Khan, he had been traveling for 2.5 years across the Asian continent. He had learned every language he came in contact with. Now that's critical, I think. I make comments of these because there's a lot of things we can emphasize in a book. But the two things I'm thinking about is he was young, he wrote everything down, and he learned their language. So when he met the Kublai Khan, he spoke to him in his language, and the Kublai Khan was amazed. The stature of a Latin young man speaking his native language, and able, very, very able. He'd been raised in his family's merchant business. There's no history of the schooling that Marco Polo went through. So I said, honey, he was learning his family's business. He was learning marketing, finance, value of things on the street in Venice as he grew up without a father. His father had already gone to the Mongolian Empire. Mm. So when he met the Kublai Khan fell in love with him and said, I trust this man. I don't even trust my own relatives that I've assigned to all these. Logan, the Mongolian Empire was the largest empire ever. Now, the British Empire is to this day the largest, but it's not contiguous. Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan made the largest empire, contiguous land empire ever. And one of the words that I say to you, and I write in, I say to my reviewers, I've gotten beautiful reviews. Logan, this book is getting so much attention. I'm so proud of that. But the reviewers are saying the word superlatives. This book is all about superlatives. The biggest, the grandest, the most violent, the most beautiful women, the richest, the most extravagant, even the costumes, even the hairstyles. Honey, the hairstyles for the women were ram's horns.
Amazing.
And they used, honey, I just have to tell you all about this book. It's so fun. It's so fun. And if you read it as if you were in Marco Polo's shoes, 17-year-old young man going on the adventure of a lifetime, probably because of the scale, probably one of the most important explorers ever. Right. He traveled 24 years, 15,000 miles. Amazing. Logan, darling, listen. Now, this is Latin Europe. Venice, everybody was Catholic. So on Marco Polo's deathbed, his clergy came to him to give him the last rites and said, you need to recant. You have told a bunch of lies and you need to recant. You're not going to go to heaven if you go to your death. What is that? Yeah. I'm sorry, an ad popped up. Let me get rid of it.
Oh, no worries. We don't see it.
Thank you. The clergy said, you have to recant. And Marco Polo said, I have not recorded half of what I witnessed. Wow. And I write about this in my book. I talk about the fact that Marco Polo uses these words. I would describe it in more detail. It would be exhausting to my readers.
These explorers were incredible men, intelligent, political, and physically strong and imposing. That had to be part of it as well, right?
Yes. Okay, how do you build the biggest empire ever?
Right.
Wars. You build them through wars. You go in, you say, I want your land, I'm taking it.
Right.
And Kublai Khan did. Logan, Kublai Khan gave us the decimal system. I didn't know this. I'm thinking Arabic numeral, la la la. Who did this? That the Mongolian Empire gave us the decimal system. Why, you ask? That's how Kublai Khan organized his troops. Every war had 300,000 troops went into battle. Amazing. And he organized them in powers of 10. One of my chapters is powers of 10. They gave us the decimal system. Oh my God, for organizing their armies.
Amazing. Amazing.
So here's the thing I want to tell you about Marco Polo. You were saying this. He's a tall man. He's Latin. He's not, he's European. He's dark skinned. He walked among them even in their wars. He walked among the troops. He's crossing the whole Asian continent. And so, yes, he came across war. He came across violence. And he walked through it. Because why, you ask? Well, I kind of addressed this. He spoke their language and he could share with them. Here's what I'm doing. I'm writing this down. So tell me your tales. Tell me about your victories. And they would share with him. Well, I've done this and I've done that. Oh my gosh, Logan. It's so fun. It's absolutely fun.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Like I said, the bravery, the intelligence, the power of these explorers. And it's great you've documented it. I was wondering, when you were doing your research, was there one truly surprising fact or event you came across? You're like, I can't believe this.
Baby, every page is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Listen, Kublai Khan, to research Marco Polo, you have to research Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan. These men were genius warriors, genius and able. They could ride a horse, they could shoot arrows, they could kill people, they could anyway.
Right.
So everything that you read about, for example, once they invaded India, they discovered the use of elephants as a war machine. So Kublai Khan figured out how to ride 4 elephants at a time, because he built these giant battlements on top of 4 elephants who were trained to walk in synchrony.
Amazing. It's like an ancient tank. Yeah. Basically, it's an ancient tank, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And they protected their elephants. They were valuable assets.
They
covered them with hardened leather so that the arrows would bounce off them. And Kublai Khan was on top, sitting in a throne on Ermine.
Amazing. Truly amazing. Tell us a little bit about your target audience for the book. What ages? I know it informed me, so I know at my age it was a fascinating read, but you are specifically targeting students with this. What grades would you say?
For sure, high school.
High school.
It's so fun. One of the things I'm a teacher of long-standing science teacher. And one of the things teachers, I'm teaching the periodic table and I'm teaching atoms and molecules, but every teacher is teaching children to love learning.
Yeah.
And Logan, that's what I hope our students get from reading my books. You get so intrigued by the history of this man, Marco Polo. You want to know more. And my target audience is, for this book, my target audience is high school. I think about, even my girlfriends, I say, well, pretend you're a 17-year-old boy when you read this.
Yeah.
Because Marco Polo was young and my audience is young. And I want them to read this and then research further.
Right. And connect and to understand and not just be Silk Road, Marco Polo, Nina, Pinta, Santa Maria, Christopher Columbus, Magellan, we want to have some perspective. We want to have some knowledge. And this book gives students, and like I said, even adults like me, a lot of depth of understanding when it comes to the Silk Road and all that Marco Polo discovered. We have you back in about 1 month to talk about another book, and we're excited about that. Give us a little tease on that. What will we be talking about then?
I think we're doing All Season We Waited.
Okay, All Season We Waited.
And the reason we're doing All Season We Waited is this book has been invited to the Texas Book Festival. Wonderful. In Austin, Texas, 3 blocks from my house.
That's great.
So All Season We Waited is my family farm, 100, and look at the date on this thing, 1902. Yeah. 1902 in the same family. And it's an epic poem about the cotton industry. Wonderful. Growing cotton on a farm. It's unbelievable. And you're going to love it. It's the sweetest thing. And I hope I'm not, I have to hire it done. I don't climb on a tractor. Right. But I think I captured the title captures it all.
Well, I can't wait to read it. I'll definitely read it before I have you back. And one last thing before we go, I have to reference that beautiful painting behind you because it's something you created and it really does look like the essence of summer. What a great pose, what great colors. The sunlight seems to be a bright white sun against that white sand. You've accomplished a lot with that artwork, and I think it's beautiful. So I wanted to.
Thank you, darling. That's the sweetest thing. I had a very short art career, and I picked up a paintbrush the first time in my life in 2014, and I was prolific for about 10 years. No, couldn't be that much. 7, 8 years. Right. And all of them have a water theme. So this one's called Parasol. It's the beach.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful. And your book is wonderful. Let's remind the audience right now, it is called On the Silk Road with Marco Polo. It takes a deep dive into Marco Polo's adventures, blending his first-hand accounts with the exhaustive research that we mentioned that the doctor performed to unveil the majestic and brutal world of the Mongol Empire. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Logan Crawford, thank you for having me. You're the best. I love you. I love your audience. Thank you so much.
Love you too. Love having you on the show. Look forward to seeing you again soon. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.